All right, good morning, everyone. We're going to kick off in just a moment here with the Collecting Prints, the podcast, and have a little bit of fun today. All right, well, good morning, everyone. We're going to kick off the Collecting Prints, the podcast show today. And today is a special day because we want to do a showcase, which means we're going to take you through quite a few different types of items that you can collect and that are part of our collection here. But I will certainly let you know that Prince collectors collect a wide range of items. And so you'll get to see a sample of some of the things that we have in our collection and really allude to some of the other things that people collect. And so you can have an idea. For those of you that are building a collection, we're going to give you steps and advice and information throughout the course of all of the shows as to how you can gather items, protect items, store items, and even display items. But we'll get to that. But today is special because we get a chance to look at um, a wide swath of items themselves. Our other shows are going to be focused on time periods and different projects. And so, through the course of that half hour segment, we will be focusing on a particular artist because we're going to cover Prince, but we're also going to cover related artists as well. And we'll also cover specific album projects. And so, next episode, we're going to kick off from Prince's first album with a retrospective on For You, which was released in 1978. And we get a chance to look at that project, certainly some artifacts from that time, as well as some previews for the next project, which was his 1979 LP, just simply titled Prince. And so we'll get to that. But today is about uh, sharing some of the items that we have in our collection, and you getting a chance to see a broad spectrum of things that can be collected, and certainly we can answer any questions that you have. Put questions in the chat. If we don't answer them on this stream, we can actually answer them in the next episode. We will be excited to be able to do that for you. Any questions that you may have about a particular item, a particular piece, or anything of that nature. We are gearing up for an exhibition in the Bay Area in the month of February. And so our collection is all over the place because we are displaying items and deciding what will be part of the final exhibitions. We're doing 2 nights, a VIP experience on a Friday evening, and then a larger public sale on Saturday, which will be February 20th and 21st in the Bay Area. And we'll share some more information about that. And so it is, and that will be a display of items from the Walton collection. See that there? Just a new logo. Uh, and so we'll share that information. And so the Walton collection will be on display. And that covers items from the Harlem Renaissance to the present. But on the Saturday exhibition in the Bay Area, will be completely focused on Prince and his music because there's a great public demand to see those items. And there'll be opportunities for you to purchase items, hear information about them, and really be part of a multimedia experience. So we're excited about that. But so let's get to a few items. And so there are so many. Let me fast forward this for just a moment. All right. Pardon that. Had to fast forward that. Anything that is recorded or has been released by Warner Brothers, EMI Records, Arista Records, or the Prince Estate, we can't play it on the podcast. And so I want to make sure that if I catch anything like that, because then it'll be blocked out from the recording. But let's start looking at a few of the items that we may have. So we're going to dive right in. So as a Prince collector, um, I've gotten to the point in our collection where we have the vast majority of anything that was released as a retail version. Many of the foreign releases, whether they be from Belgium, Argentina, Jamaica, South Africa, France, Germany, and the UK. Um, but what's interesting is that once we have those items collected, we're looking for items that are more and more scarce, more and more rare. And so some of the items that I'll be showing you are in categories that are actually pretty rare. And so one of the categories that I love to collect are items that are either in-house from the record company or in-house from the actual particular artist themselves, from projects that they're working on. And so what I want to show you now is called an artist proof, a printer's proof. And so this is for when they are printing items for public release, whether it be a promotional item or an actual retail release that can be picked up at any record store or so forth. Um, what I'm going to share with you now is from Prince's album project Chaos and Disorder. This is an actual printer's proof of the CD, um, of the CD booklet, and so you'll get a chance to see. And I'll go over some of the areas. And so what this is, and you'll see the printer's marks for the color separations and how the color comes together in the top bar. But this is the actual mock-up or what they use to actually print the actual booklet for Chaos and Disorder, which was a Prince release, an album release. And so this is a copy of the printer's proof for that CD booklet. And so these are very, very rare. Of course, these are in-house, and they're usually done from whoever's doing the artwork, the art director, and it will then get approved either by the artist or the artist team. And so oftentimes, some of the early ones of these, which very, very few are made, and that lends to scarcity, which means it's going to be certainly more valuable if you have one, because there aren't many of those around. What's interesting is that some of the early editions may even have corrections on them that are different from the ultimate final release. And so an item like an artist proof is very, very rare. And so again, this is the CD booklet for Chaos and Disorder. And the same thing is also done for vinyl releases. And I believe this is the one of the artist proofs for the 12-inch version for, yes, it is the 12-inch version for I Hate You, the 12-inch maxi for I Hate You. And so this is the actual mock-up for the 12-inch record jacket here. And what you'll see on the side, or is really the information from the project. For example, what company ordered it, who's doing the artwork, and the date that this was produced. And again, these are in very, very limited numbers because these are meant to really just make sure that the printing, that the color is correct, the image is correct, the type is correct, and all the marks that need to be on it, whether it be the barcode and so forth. It gives people an idea, the perspective to make sure that it's perfect before they release it. And so this is the back of that 12-inch record there. Barcode is affixed, Warner Brothers NPG Records at the bottom. And it shares the information about what mixes are included on this particular release. And so these are very, very rare if you can find them. Again, these would likely be coming from either someone that worked on the art of the project or someone at the record company. In this case, likely someone that was at Paisley Park that was able to, have a copy or keep a copy, because they may have been one of the people that was there to review it to make sure it was accurate. But again, these are rare items. And usually in the neighborhood of well under 25. In some cases, there are only five or so produced, just to verify that a release is accurate. And so those are very, very, very uh, limited numbers, and that would increase certainly the value of it, but also very few other people are going to have it. And so in some cases, there are going to be artist proofs where there may only be one available. And that would mean that if you secure that, you are the only person that may even have that in the world. And so that's something to think about as you build a collection. And so from the artist proofs, one of the things that I'll move on to, I'm going to showcase one of the more rare items, and an item that has a story to it. And we'll dive a little bit more into this story in a later episode. But this will give us an idea of some of the things that are out there, that are rare. And the story behind this is very interesting.
Accessibility shortcuts.
All right, so here we are. So this is actually two items, and I'll start with the magazine because this is where this all starts. Um, Guitar World magazine was doing a feature on Prince, and I believe this is. Let's see what this is. Yeah, this is November. This is November 1994. November 1994. And in the process of negotiating the interview and all of that, Prince wanted to do a special release with this magazine. And so Prince actually was working on a project, and without the permission of Warner Brothers at the time, he actually uh, was intending to release the project as a giveaway with the magazine. And so that giveaway was for a project he was working on called The Undertaker. The Undertaker is available on. You can get it sometimes transferred to DVD, but you can see it also on Laserdisc, and so it's available VHS. It's available out there. But what is not available is the actual recording, just regular music recording, because once Warner Brothers found out that Prince intended to, with this magazine, to release a CD, and here's a copy of the CD, to release this CD with the magazine for his new project called The Undertaker, which is a heavy, heavy, heavy jazz, rock, and funk inspired set of tunes. Uh, it's a phenomenal listen. I have a couple of favorites on here, uh, but it was supposed to be released. So since Warner Brothers found out about it, it was scrapped. And so they were ordered to destroy the copies of the CDs, very similar to the Black Album. They were ordered to destroy copies of the CD, and the way that they destroyed it, the CDs were gathered up, and shellac was poured on the plain side. And so there are ones that escaped, like this one, where it was cleaned, and some of them that still have the shellac on them. I think there were, I don't know of any that did not have any, damage to them because they were ordered to be destroyed. But I'm sure there are one or two out there like that. But these are very, very limited. I would say that these are certainly well under 50, probably well under 25 copies that are out there. Um, and so uh, this is one of the Grail items that you will hear talked about, like the Holy Grail. It's one of those items that's so rare, and it's such a centerpiece for many people's collection. And this is the Undertaker CD, that was withdrawn by the record company, which means it's unreleased. And even though it is the soundtrack for the VHS, the Laserdisc, and any DVD productions of the really a documentary clip called "The Undertaker," where it's Prince backstage when they actually record this, and so behind the scenes where they actually record it. So it's a great recording. Again, heavy rock, funk, and jazz laden track. I mean, oh, it's great. I believe there are at least 7 tracks on here, and so this is a rare one, and it was scrapped because Prince did not have permission to release it with Guitar World magazine back in 1994, and so he was always thinking forward about how to do interesting and creative things, and so yeah, this is one of those rare items. So also great. Have some new items come in. I'll share a couple of those as we go a little bit deeper into items that are pretty rare. I may even cover a few picture discs because those are highly popular. So I had a few items come in. Uh, and so let's share one of these. So what we have here is the Japan release of a Japanese release of Purple Rain. And so it's the Purple Rain CD. Take this out of here. And included with the CD is what is called the OBI, which is an information sleeve that is on uh, CDs and LPs from Japan, still continues to this day, where they provide information about the release. And it's usually a card similar to this, and it's also on albums. I'll show you a version of this on an LP. And so the Japanese versions are very highly sought after simply because the printing presses in Japan, they limited the number of copies that were printed from a single master. And so that the sound quality had less of a chance to degrade. And so you'll hear some of the better recordings done from the Japanese pressings because they simply didn't press so many with one particular master, because over time, of course, the quality starts to diminish to a small degree, but still that lets you know that some of the best sound quality is coming from the Japanese releases. And so that's an opportunity there. And so this is, of course, the Purple Rain CD. This was released in Japan. And typically with Japanese releases, you'll see an initial release and then you'll see a reissue. This is a reissue under the name of the Forever Young series. And so some of the older releases, they'll re-release or reissue. And so if you're interested in collecting the CDs from Japan, which are CD singles, maxi singles, as well as full-length album projects, know that there is likely to be an initial release as well as a reissue there from that market. And so that's an opportunity for you to see that. So what I'm going to do now is I have quite a few items. And these items I'm going to go through. Let me take these out of here. We'll cover a variety of different time periods in the story of Prince, as well as a variety of different projects that he was working on at different times, and different types of media, because these are not all the same as you are about to see. And so let me get these situated and we'll get a chance to show you what this is. All right. Okay. So let's see what we have. Okay. So what we have here is one of the initial promotional photos from Prince. This is 1981. and this was sent from Warner Brothers to record companies and media outlets. Um, and so that's the initial one. These are available. You can get these, on eBay. You can get these on Discog. Well, you can get those on Discogs. We can get those on eBay, or find. Every now and then you'll see them at a show or a sale. Um, this is actually a photo of Morris Day that was signed and authenticated. And so that's authenticated by professional sports authenticators, which the majority of the materials that I have, I get it authenticated through PSA, because you want to make sure that all signatures are verified as being the signature of the actual person. Every now and then, you'll see some signatures out there that you can tell are not authentic. And so it's good to make sure that you have an authentic item there. Let's see what else we have. And so we'll move on. I have quite a few of the promotional items and promotional photos, but then it goes into promotional items to promote different projects or events. This is a one of the promo postcards for the Batman release in 1989. This is an advertisement from Japan, and in the Japan market, prior to a world tour and artist tour, they do advertisements in Japan, and so many of these are one of a kind, pretty rare. You can find them, but they're uh, you know they're just they just have a very different look, and so it's good. I love to have these in the collection. Because here is another one, and it provides the tour information, how to get tickets, and all of that for that market. What else do we have here? Okay, we also have promotional material, and I'll show a couple of these at this point. This was back in the day for the New Power Soul CD with the NPG, and you'll see this barcode here. You'll see this barcode here at the bottom. And that barcode is there because this is the information for record stores to order copies for the store, because this is the promotion for the project that's coming out. And so these were direct to record stores or retail outlets, so they could get sales information or also order and promote the upcoming project. One of the items that I had just come in the other day is from Prince's album project Exodus. And this is one of the advertisements for it, but at the bottom you can see the retail information there in order to get copies of the project to sell in stores. So what else do we have beyond that? Oh, yes. And some of the items that are interesting to collect are also tickets. And so I believe this is one of the one of the German tour tickets. So this is a ticket from the tour, from the Sign of the Times tour in 1987, and this is from one of the German stops on the tour for the world tour for Sign of the Times back in 1987. Very good condition there, and some of the tickets you'll find are very hard to find, even though many of those venues or outlets had a large number of people attending those. What else do we have here? Okay. Well, we have one of the original, some of the original backstage passes for the 1999 tour. Most of these are 1990 tour in the U.S. And so that's a guest pass there in red, and there's a guest pass there in blue. We also have from what was provided at the tour. So at the tour, the night of the tour, you could buy T-shirts, sweatshirts, and so forth. This was a souvenir booklet from 1998 that has information about Prince. This is for the Jam of the Year, that tour, late 87, early 1998 in the United States. And so it has some photos that if you purchase this, you get a few of the photos. And these are actual photos affixed to the booklet. So that's interesting. Okay, in 1991's Diamonds and Pearls, on the cover of the CD, there was the hologram, and here is a much larger version of that. There are actually two on here. There's a smaller version of the hologram that I have here, but a much larger version of the hologram that was produced for the actual CD booklet for Diamonds and Pearls. And so these are pretty rare because of course these were produced in house with Warner Brothers, and only a few of those escaped. And so if you see those are pretty rare, especially in the size other than the size on the CD booklet. Oh yeah. So what we have here is it's a window cling. It's a promotional item for Prince and the NPG, and it's a window cling, so it goes on the window, and it is you can actually so you can put it on. This would be the side that would be inside. The other side would be facing the outside on the glass, and so it's just a cool promotional item. We have quite a few promotional things for tours. This is Prince's tour in Europe. Who else do we have? We have record company information, and this is from the Sign of the Times era. And this is information that Warner, Elektra, Atlantic, you see the WIA there at the top. That's Warner, Elektra, and Atlantic record labels are all unified, but they have different projects. And this is the newsletter for any of the items that they're releasing at that time. And this talks about Prince's Sign of the Times project. Okay. Oh, let's get to something else that's interesting. So what we have here, let me see what I can show. So to make sure that we have this covered. So what we have here is that one of the videos that was released, they produced a video for the Love Sexy tour in 1988. And there's a video of live performances that was produced. And this is an artist proof of the packaging for that particular CD. I'm covering some of it. I want to make sure that we don't get censored. But this is the first VHS of that tour project. And this is a copy of the second VHS that was produced in the set covering the Love Sexy tour. And so those are those are artist proofs or renderings of what the CD would later look like once it was printed. And let's give you a few more items before we take off. Here is actually a photo of me back in the day with Maite. They're holding the newspaper that I owned and operated in the Washington, D.C. area. And this is a picture that we took for Prince released a video, the worldwide release of the video on Black Entertainment Television. And he was not able to attend, but his wife, Maite, came to release it live on air on BET. And we're at the BET studios in Washington, D.C. at that time. That's a great blast from the past. More rare ticket stubs. postcards, backstage passes. This is a napkin from the Prince's Club in Vegas, 3121, at the time that he did that. And so those are just a sample of some of the rare items that we have in the collection, which will also include any type of recording you can imagine. And that recording could be on a, goodness, let's start with an 8-track tape all the way up to, 7-inch 45 record, 12-inch records, in-house cassette tapes, for example, you know, copies from the mastering studio that they send to the record company to be produced. Believe we showed a few of those last week. And so we'll have an opportunity as we move forward to dive into more rare items from the world of Prince, whether it be a Prince recording or whether it be something from one of the related or associated artists. But it was great having you here on a wonderful Saturday. And we will see you next time when we kick off the series on Prince albums with For You. And we'll do a retrospective on that particular album project that came out in 1978, as well as see some very, very, very rare artifacts from that time that are scarce and extremely hard to find. And so we'll have a chance to talk about a few of those items next week. Thank you so much for your time today. We love having you here. And this is Prince, the podcast, Collecting Prince, the podcast. Have a wonderful day.